Welcome to my ultimate Moldova travel guide.
Welcome to Moldova.
Bine ați venit în Moldova!
Bine ați venit în Moldova!
Welcome to Moldova.
Travels with Andrei Volcan. We're in the middle of the country, Moldova. Brown Boy Travels recommends strongly visiting Moldova, especially right now during COVID times.
Welcome to Moldova! So, this tiny landlocked country is located between Ukraine and Romania at pretty much the edge of Europe. And whilst, it was touted as the poorest nation, it has come a long way in such a short time. So the country is quite small. It is only 2.6 million people, and it is really fun. There's quite a lot to do here, despite it being a landlocked country. But before we go any further, I do want to say something about Transnistria. It's a small country which no one really accepts as a country. It is actually part of Moldova as far as the international conventions go, but they have established themselves as a separate country. So a lot of things that I would say in this video just do not apply to Transnistria because they have their currency, they have their own borders, customs. Check the Transnistria video for that. Other than that, this video will help you plan the perfect stay and trip to Moldova. Let's go explore this country. Visa for Moldova. Now, this is an easy visa category country. If you're an EU national or if you're coming from the Western countries, you honestly don't need a visa. Most of the countries are exempt. And even if you do, it's a fairly straightforward process. So I definitely put Moldova in an easy visa category section. Let's talk about money. So look at these currency notes. They're almost the same size as the Monopoly money. And they're sort of, kind of monochromatic in a way. So this is the currency of Moldova and it's called lei. So this is the official currency. Although some places do accept euros and US dollars, it's not very common and you will definitely need this currency when you come in the country. Now, it's quite easy to withdraw it. There's a lot of banks, but I found Exim Bank doesn't charge any transaction fees. It didn't charge me any. Mobius Banca also doesn't charge any transaction fees for withdrawing cash at their ATMs. At the airport was a bit tricky because there's only Victory Bank and they did charge me a transaction fee, but I couldn't do anything there. There's plenty of places to withdraw money from. Contactless payments and card payments are also available mostly on the bigger establishments in Chisinau. As you go towards the countryside, that's not a no-go, so you definitely need cash here. In terms of value for money, Moldova is actually the poorest country in Europe, and that comes with low prices. So I would give you an example. A nice 5-day stay in a big apartment for me was 80 pounds only. I had the whole apartment to myself. I went for a spa massage, an hour, 2 hours actually, and the cost was 26 pounds. An average meal, a nice big pizza with a glass of juice, you can get that for like 150 lei, which is 6 pounds. So when it comes to value for money, Moldova is especially when it comes to European standards. So pack your bags now. So which SIM card should you buy for Moldova? I would recommend Orange because it's pretty good. It's really cheap for like £1. I got 250 minutes, 10 gigabytes data, and it's very easily available. You can buy a SIM card at the Chisinau airport as well. There's like all of these companies have their counters there. And since Moldova is not part of EU, make sure you're very careful about using any other European SIMs here because you will be charged quite a lot of roaming. So Orange is the best one here. It also has really good coverage around the country. All right, let's talk about driving and cars and public transport in Moldova. Now, this is the only thing I could find that I could rent. They have run out of cars to rent in the entire country. I mean, honestly, I called about 50, 60 different agencies, not a single car. And I saw some other travelers who were sort of in a similar condition. So I'm having to rely on public transport, which means I can see a lot less of the country, unfortunately. But there's no other option. So come prepared, book your car well in advance, and don't rely on public transport. It's good, but it's not as frequent, and there's like based on the schedules, you just can't do enough with that. Taxis in Chisinau, oh my God, you have to get two apps, Yandex or iTaxi, and you have to constantly check both because it's quite common for people to for the apps to run out of taxis. So you'll be waiting. So if you're going somewhere that's time restricted, make sure you leave a little bit of a buffer in between, especially during the high season. Buses are actually not too bad in Chisinau. I was quite surprised. And the ticket is only 2 lei, which is nothing. And the buses are actually pretty good as well. So make sure you come prepared for Moldova, especially during the high season. And if you want, you can walk around or you can take the buses in Chisinau, because if taxis are the only thing you're going to rely on, you could be a little disappointed. How safe is Moldova? Is it safe to visit? I was actually doing a little bit of research before coming, and it's actually very, very safe generally. There's petty crime that's everywhere, but there's no serious crime. There's very few tourist traps here as well. So generally, it's quite safe. I mean, I walked around in Chisinau after dark on my own. I didn't feel threatened at any point, but I've been told that if you're a solo female traveler, you need to be a bit more conscious. But other than that, it's super safe. So don't be scared. Come to Moldova. So what's the best time to visit Moldova? I think the best time is towards the end of spring all the way to the end of summer. So I would say from May all the way to September. It's really nice. It's bustling. There's tons of flowers. So much life here at that time. But if you're coming during the high season, I would highly recommend that you book things in advance because it's really, really busy. I'm here in August, and pretty much everywhere I go, places are fully packed. It's a tiny country, so come prepared. So how much time should you spend in Moldova? It might look like a small country on the map, but there's quite a lot to do here. All the regions have different culture, and if you want to explore that, you need to try a few different places. South is very different from the north. Chisinau is very different. So I would definitely recommend you spend at least 5 to 7 days here. And if you have your own car, things will speed up a lot. Let's talk about language. Now, there are two main languages here. One is Romanian, the other one is Russian, and the language barrier is real. English is not commonly spoken here. Only the younger generation understands a bit of it, and I found very few people who actually understand and speak English like proficiently. So make sure when you come, you have Romanian and Russian downloaded on Google Translate for this. country. Secondly, I didn't know this and I've just found out, but Romanian is actually the closest living language to the Latin that was spoken in the Roman Empire. I didn't know that before coming here, so hey! I'm sure it's tough though, because, Latin wasn't the easiest of languages. Alright, so let's talk about the people of Moldova. I wasn't sure what to expect, especially with the expressions. Yes, they do kind of look pretty, neutral in different faces, but they are some of the nicest, most incredible, sweet people. From the moment I got on the plane, I took an Air Moldova plane. Everyone was really helpful, including the lady who was sitting right next to me with some translation to people on the street. They will try and help you in every way possible. A huge shout out to Mihaila, Valentine, and Grigory for showing me around, and also Irene from the Free Walking Tours Chisinau, who has been absolutely amazing. So yay, people of Moldova, a big thumbs up. Probably the biggest amazing thing with Moldova was the food. It's always fresh and it's always amazing. And there was such huge diversity of food. So check out my Food in Moldova video, which will give you a lot more inspiration. So what did I really like about Moldova? I think it's the simplicity of life, the pace at which life goes, especially in the rural areas. A lot of it is around agriculture. In summer, it's all about preparing for winters. In winters, it's all about surviving. And it's not just run like the rest of the European countries, which is a really refreshing and different feeling. So I really loved that. And thank you, Moldova, for that amazing feeling. I had a blast. You cannot drink tap water in Moldova. Instead, I would recommend that you get one of these big bottles and then you use that to refill either your traveling bottle or you use it for inside the house. Moldova uses the EU plugs, so come prepared with these ones. It's at 230 volts, by the way. So what can you do in Moldova? Is surprisingly quite a lot. A lot of it is around wine and rural life, which is very understandable. If you like wine, this country is amazing. There's so many wineries and you can go, you can explore, there's so many types of wine here. And it's just incredible. So you definitely need to visit a couple of wineries. Do check my video about the wineries and you will get more information. Chisinau is obviously the capital. You go around, you want to see some Soviet architecture. This is again your place. If you want to explore the rural life, which is the best part of coming to Moldova in my opinion, you can easily go to Orhevik or some other villages. It's not very difficult. Just make a local friend. And you're never far from a village here. In the south of the country, you can go to Gagauzia, which is another region which has a different culture. And it's loosely a breakaway region, but not like Transnistria. In the north of the country, near the border with Ukraine, there's quite a few monasteries you can enjoy, with great views, by the way. So if you get the chance, I sadly didn't because I didn't get a car, so yeah. Saroka is a special one if you're looking to go. Sipova is another beautiful monastery. And if you are looking to explore food, again, the rural areas are the best when it comes to food. Chisinau has some great places as well. If you also want to try the wine bars, they also have some great bars, cocktails, nightlife, everything. So it's a complete package. You're not going to be bored in Moldova, I promise you. I really hope you enjoyed the little country guide of Moldova with me. And I would recommend that you check out my Food in Moldova as well as Moldova vlogs so you can find more information on things to do.